You're listening to Daily Manna Devotionals. The title of today's devotion is Suffering. Why do bad things happen to good people? God's response. I was kidnapped from my homeland, and now I'm here in jail, but I did nothing to deserve it. In that way you will be acting as true children of your Father in heaven, for he gives us his sunlight to both the evil and the good, and he sends rain on the just and the unjust too. That comes from Matthew. Job replied, should we accept only good things from the hand of God and never anything bad? Sometimes the suffering that comes to you is not your fault. It just happens. When it does, how you react to the suffering is critical. The Lord was with Joseph and blessed him, and yet Joseph was in prison through no fault of his own. God does not want to see you suffer, but we live in a fallen world where sin is often allowed to run its course, affecting both believers and non-believers. Although God doesn't want you to suffer, he often brings renewal, healing, and spiritual maturity through the suffering so that you can be stronger and better equipped to help others. God promises, though he brings grief, he also shows compassion according to the greatness of his unfailing love. For he does not enjoy hurting people or causing them sorrow. Lamentations 3:32-33. This devotion comes out of For Men, a devotional by Tyndale. It's funny because it seems like these devotions, I just pick them randomly, and it's like God will have a message for a time frame, because I'll get the same type of message in more than one devotion, more than one day in a row. And today's, I think, ties in with the previous one, because this is, again, it's about why does suffering and bad things happen to good people? Why does God allow these things to happen? What can come from that, etc. So this devotion, again, ties in with that one, and it's talking about how unjust things happen to Christians, and how just because something happens doesn't mean that God wants that to happen or that you deserve it or anything like that. It just means that the world is flawed. The world is full of sin. God does allow us to have free will. So with free will, you will have all kinds of bad things and suffering and unjust things that do occur to people even who believe in God. So God doesn't shield everyone from everything if they believe in him. He allows things to run their course, and again, I think it just shows that God uses those things to see how you'll react and to allow you to become a better, stronger person and a better Christian and a better believer. You can become stronger in your spiritual maturity and your spiritual strength through the things that come to you that are not necessarily good. So we kind of need some of the bad so that we appreciate the good, and so that we are turned into I guess it kind of makes me think of diamonds that are created out of pressure, or things like that you kind of need the bad and the negative things in order to get a really good foundation for a great Christian and somebody who is a good representation of what God wants us to be. That doesn't necessarily come from somebody who lives a perfect, easy life without any trials or tribulations. It comes from people that have faced all kinds of adversity and made their way through that, and have looked to God to find their way through those difficult times. So I think the message is kind of to embrace some of those times, embrace some of the rougher patches in our lives, because those are the times that God is smoothing us and using those situations to make us into a better reflection of what he wants us to be and of him. So that's what it means to me anyway. Thanks for listening. God bless. Have a great day.